Alright, so we are going to learn how to solve quadratic equations by graphing. The keyword here is solve, which on the last slide you found out that solving or finding the solution is another word for zeros. And when we talk about zeros, we're talking about what x value makes the function equal to 0. So whenever we talk about zeros, our answer is going to be in x equals 4. So we could graph this by hand doing negative b over 2a since it's in standard form. We could also graph it using the graphing calculator. So I'm going to show you how that works. So before we do anything, we want to reset our memory. So we want to go to second mem, go down to option 7, which is reset, all RAM, and reset. And that we want to do so that we don't have any funky window issues or any weird settings. Now we want to go to y equals to graph this. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in this side of the equation for y equals, because we want to find out what would make y, or the output of the function, 0. So we want to type this in 2x squared. When you type in x, make sure you use this button here, which is the variable x, not this button down here, which is the letter x. Minus 2x minus 5. And if we hit graph, that will graph it for us. And right here, it's nice and neat. It fits on the window. If we needed to change our window, we could use zoom to zoom in or out. Or there's an option down here called zoom fit, which will fit your graph into the window. Or you can change your minimum values for x on the x-axis to fit it left and right, or y on the y-axis to fit it up and down. But we don't have to do any of that, so we can go back to our graph. Now you can hit this trace button and trace or scan along the graph, but it's not very accurate. So what we want to do instead is actually calculate the exact intersection there. So in order to do that, we're going to use this calc menu, which is above trace. So we're going to hit second calc, and we're trying to find the 0. So we want to hit option 2. It says left bound. It means it wants to know what the left boundary we want to put on this minimum is. So we're just finding this 0 over here, not this one yet. This one over here, we're to the left of it. So you want to make sure you're a couple clicks over to the left, hit enter, go back to the 0, and then we need to go to the right of it. So go a couple clicks to the right and hit enter. Now that gives you a nice little window. Up here, the arrows are pointing to where that 0 is, and then guess, we're going to guess right where it is, and our answer is negative 1.158. And our directions set round to the nearest hundredth, so we would put x equals negative 1.16. And that's just one of our zeros. That's just the intersection over here. We also want to find the 0 over here. So we're going to hit second calc. And again, we're trying to find the 0. We want left bound. Now this time left is actually below. So don't get your lefts and right confused with above and below. Over here for left, we were way up here. Now for left, we're a couple clicks to the left, which would be down. So we want to hit enter. And then it says right bound. We want to go back up to the 0 and now to the right and hit enter and then guess. And our arrow should be pointing right towards the space, the column that falls in. Enter, and we get 2.158. So our second answer is x equals 2.16. So those are our two answers. We can also write it as x equals negative 1.16 and 2.16. Alright, so the second example I'm going to give you is when you have an equation that is not set equal to 0. Oops, sorry. Minus x equals 11. So here we have 2x squared minus x equals 11. We want to find the zeros to solve. So in order to do that, we need to set this side equal to 0. So we just do some algebra manipulation here and get this set equal to 0, and then you can do it exactly like before. So go ahead and finish this one up on your own and then do the practice problems.